So, my plans for today were to edit and load up videos that I was going to have ready for you guys for this week. Slept in a little bit because it was my day off. Knew that the Senate vote on the election certification was happening today. Knew that there were some moronic Republicans who were going to try to deny the votes of the people. And then this happened. I've been watching it now for about 2 hours, and I don't even know what to say, but I knew that I wanted to say something because I've tried very hard to keep politics off my channel, except for one video that I did. It was about 3 minutes long. It was about political grifting of money. But otherwise, I've kept my my politics out. Most of my local followers who have subscribed, they know where I stand politically wise. But this is what do you even say? What do you even say? I'm thinking about trying to take this live, but I haven't even tried that yet at all, and I don't think I will because I don't want to have to screw anything up and change my settings or anything. But today was supposed to be a good day. We are 14 days shy of pulling Trump from office and putting Biden in. It's been a long, hard 4 years. Somehow or another, the right side, not the right side, but that side, has twisted the definition of words and applied them to the left. And so much has happened. So much has happened. And now we have the Proud Boys storming the Capitol, rioting the Capitol, vandalizing the Capitol, looting the Capitol, when our leaders that we elected were in there doing their job and have been shuffled aside, hidden away, sheltered for their safety. There's been a shooting in the Capitol. The Department of Defense has denied for the first 2 hours the National Guard to go help the DC police. This should not be happening. I can't even imagine who is enjoying watching this. so much has happened within the last 4 years. You know, with the rights of citizens taken away, with the deportation of our veterans, with the caging of children. You know, it's like every little step was a little bit bigger than the last step. And then Trump tweeted this 28 minutes ago.
I know your pain. I know you're hurt. We had an election that was stolen from us. It was a landslide election, and everyone knows it, especially the other side. But you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order. We have to respect our great people in law and order. We don't want anybody hurt. It's a very tough period of time. There's never been a time like this where such a thing happened, where they could take it away from all of us, from me, from you, from our country. This was a fraudulent election, but we can't play into the hands of these people. We have to have peace. So go home. We love you. You're very special. You've seen what happens. You see the way others are treated that are so bad and so evil. I know how you feel. But go home and go home in peace.
We love you. It was stolen from us. Evil people. Go home. This is how he decides to treat the terrorists, the anarchists, the traitors that have attacked our democracy. We love you. Go home. They stormed the Capitol. They broke down the doors, raided the Capitol, went into the offices of our duly elected officials, propped their feet up on the desks like they owned it. And we love you. You're good people. Go home. So I've been sitting here trying to put my mind in its place so I could do something. So I could create something that I like doing, that I like making so that you can enjoy. And that's not going to happen today. Not right now. My nation is tearing itself apart because we have a fucking moron. And yeah, YouTube, I'm saying that. I don't give a goddamn about anything right now. If you decide to demonetize it, I don't care because I'm not making money on it. Don't matter to me. I'm not a partner. You can't demonetize it. We have a fucking moron who decides to throw a temper tantrum, refuses to act like an adult, refuses to follow our laws. And we knew this was coming. We knew it. How did we know it? Are you sure you knew it? How can you say that you knew it? Because for months, before the election, for months, people were asking Trump, if Biden wins, will you concede? That's because we knew he would do this. Well, maybe not to this extent, but we knew that he would pull some temper tantrum and throw his arms up in the air and shout and cry and throw a hissy fit because he won. There was no election fraud this year. There were a few cases of election fraud. Few. And by a few, like a handful. And some of those cases resulted from people who voted by mail and then died from the coronavirus, which again, he had a huge hand in. There were some other cases where people voted on purpose to create election fraud. But amazingly enough, those votes weren't for Biden. Not to mention the fact that Trump is a registered voter in the state of Florida. And so is Melania. And that's where they vote from. He mailed in his because, of course, he's president. He's allowed to. So that mail-in vote is okay. But everyone else's is invalid. Because he's the president. But Melania flew down to Florida on the taxpayer's dollar and voted. But neither one of them live in Florida. He owns property in Florida. But neither one of them live in Florida. So that's another point of fact where there's voter fraud. But we're not going to talk about that because he's the president. I got into a disagreement with someone on Twitter who claimed that this is not a riot. They're not rioting. It's not an Easter egg hunt. A woman was shot in the Capitol. Do not worry, it was not one of our senators or one of our Congress members. It was a woman who was one of these terrorists. She was wearing a Trump 2020 flag as a cape. She was shot in the neck as she and others tried to break down a door. I've seen the video. I'm not airing it, but I've seen the video. Tell me this isn't terrorism right here. Tell me this isn't terrorism. I've seen the video of her getting shot. And I've seen comments on it on social media. They're claiming that Antifa have hidden themselves among the Trump supporters. And they're the ones that started shooting in the Capitol. No. No. When an autopsy is held on this woman who was shot with one bullet that was fired, one bullet, One shot was heard. One shot on video. It will register back to one of the Capitol Guards. Which is fine. I don't care. That's fine. He was doing his job. He was doing his job. But shortly, I mean like seconds after she has fallen to the ground, there are people in the video going, "There's an active shooter here. There's an active shooter here." You were breaking into the Capitol. You are terrorists. They were doing their jobs and protecting the members of Congress you were trying to get to. So far, only one person has been shot. I have received word that she did die. I have no qualms about that. No qualms. For 4 years, Trump and his people have labeled the left as dangerous, evil, pedophiles that are cannibals, that have rigged elections, that are stealing votes, that are anti-American, and the list goes on. One of the things that pisses me off beyond an even stronger hatred of the GOP as a whole is not just their enabling of Trump. Not just the fact that they enabled Mitch McConnell to block bills that were set, that passed the House, that had to be voted on the Senate, so that they could help the American people as a whole. But he refused to do it because it was leftist ideas. But that's not why I hate the GOP. They have encouraged their followers, not their party members, their followers, to believe that the left, that the radical liberals want to get rid of the Second Amendment. No, we don't. Common sense gun laws are gun laws, which we would have and still have the Second Amendment. Now, if we said anything beyond wanting common sense gun laws, such as the removal of guns, the prohibition of firearms, that would be getting rid of the Second Amendment. That's not us. That's not us. However, as I have said repeatedly, you can't have the Second Amendment without the First Amendment. And as you can see in all that's happening today, if you haven't been paying any attention for the last 4 years, if you can see this now, they don't want us to have any part of the Constitution except the Second Amendment. Trump wants to overturn the 20th Amendment. He wants to be president for life. He has people at his rallies shouting out 8 more years, 12 more years. He has joked about being president for life. And the more that he does that, the more hate he directs towards the left, saying how much we don't like him, how much we don't want him, how much we hate him, how much we hate the Second Amendment. Trump was impeached, but not removed from office. That doesn't mean he wasn't impeached. He was impeached. He just wasn't removed from office. Had the Senate done their job, which they refused to do, had the Senate allowed the evidence, which they refused to do, had the Senate taken testimony, which they refused to do, we would not be here right now watching terrorists invade the Capitol. There's a good thing that's going on now, though, about the invasion of the Capitol. And that is that Trump supporters, as has been proven time and time and time and time again, they're fucking stupid. They are. Thankfully, for a little bit, thankfully, people are so involved in making social media such a huge part of their everyday existence. It has made them stupid to the effect of they like to film themselves committing crimes. We've seen this. We've seen this left, right, and upside down. We've seen people who driving down the highway with a camera on their phone, showing them violating the speed limits, causing car crashes, hit and runs, filming others creating these crimes. We've seen where people have filmed themselves with money from robberies. Felons with firearms. Even on small petty things, they film themselves because it's so funny. I'm going to destroy this person's pizza and film it. And then send it to them so that they can eat this nasty pizza I have fouled and post it on Twitter or TikTok or Snapchat or whichever one is the candy of the day. And these morons here in the Capitol are the same way. They're filming themselves. They're posting themselves. They're sitting in the offices of the Speaker of the House with his feet on her desk and posing for the camera. Get me a selfie. This is going to make history. Yeah. And you're going to go to prison for it. When the scene of them walking through Statuary Hall, you can see them with selfie sticks holding up their phones, preparing to make a crime and make history and make a legal record of their crime. When Colin Kaepernick took a knee to not stand for the flag, it was one man saying no. No, I cannot pledge my allegiance to a flag that does not see me the same way it sees the rest of my teammates. Trump called that unpatriotic. As we have watched over the last 4 years, more and more people are taking a knee, are saying no, and more people are showing their racist colors by calling the cops because a man is mowing his lawn. Because a man who is not white is moving into the building. Because a man is writing on his own property, Black Lives Matter. A week and a half ago, we saw our latest event, or at least the one that's made more waves than others that I've seen, where a young boy who's staying at a hotel with his dad was using his phone in the lobby, was attacked by a woman who claimed it was her phone, and she wanted it back. She wanted to see the cover of it. And she attacked him. And as we all know by now, this wasn't the first time she's pulled something like this. That she actually lost her phone in an Uber, who did return it to her. But charges have not been pressed on her for attacking a minor. this is worse than that unpatriotic act of taking a knee, of saying no. Black Lives Matters protests were on the streets in Portland. They took up a couple blocks. They were peaceful protests for the most part. And then, somehow, some Proud Boys show up. We know this from photographic evidence. A kid is driven across state lines with a weapon he's not allowed to own. Kills 2 people, injures a 3rd, and is considered a hero by the right. And even though it's on camera, even though it was in a city that is not his own, even though he should not have been there, even though he shouldn't be owning a weapon that he got illegally, he pled not guilty yesterday to 7 counts. 7. And the protesters in Portland, there, see, that's Nancy Pelosi's office. The protesters in Portland, who were peaceful. There were a lot of them, but they were peaceful. Were shot at by the police, by the guards, with non-lethal ammunition that still scarred them for life, did a lot of damage to them, tissue damage, eyesight damage, cranial damage. And Trump tweeted and spoke out about how wrong all of this was, how that these Antifa terrorists were in Portland, how his guards are coming to take care of everything and Portland said, no, we're fine. We don't need your assistance, but oh, we got it. And it made it worse. Because it's Trump. Stand down and stand by, he said. Something big is happening, he said. Just you watch, he said. He's destroying my country. It took him 4 years to do what no other country on this planet has able to do. None. Not Hitler's Germany. Not Shiro's Japan. Not Putin's Russia. I had to say something. I had to speak out. I had to do something. And this is what I did, because as much as I want to get to my videos, I can't do it with my heart breaking. Not today. Not today. I'm sorry if I rambled, guys. I'm sorry if I went off on a tangent. I'm sorry that I brought politics to my channel. But it's my voice. It's my voice. It's the only way I've got to speak out besides voting. I'm going to be honest here. If these MAGA terrorists disappeared off the face of the planet, were suddenly completely and utterly gone, I would be a much happier person. I do know there are people out there right now who are calling for the 25th Amendment to be invoked, that are demanding that Trump be impeached. I say no. I know, after everything I've just said, why am I saying no? 14 days. Not even 14 days now. It's more like 13 days because it's 5 o'clock in the evening. 13 days. That's how many days he has left. The nation has laws. We have state laws and we have city laws and local laws and federal laws. We all know, and we know this because everybody's been bringing it up. Is he going to pardon himself? Does he have the ability to pardon himself? Can he pardon himself? What do you think? Do you think he actually will pardon himself? Will he pardon himself? Yeah. Yeah. I guarantee you, he is going to try to do everything in his power to put his crappy ass signature on a piece of paper and say, "This is my pardon. I'm pardoning me." However, everyone is pretty much in agreement that a president cannot pardon himself. The next president could pardon him. And Biden, I'm telling you right now, don't you even think about it. Not once. Not after today. Not after today. However, However, 18 U.S. Code Chapter 115, Treason, Sedition, and Subversive Activities. he should be held accountable for every one of these. He has committed treason. He has committed sedition. And he has committed recruiting services against the United States. He has committed activities affecting armed forces generally. And he has advocated the overthrow of the government repeatedly. He has made calls to a governor to have his election results overturned. And just say you found ballots. You did a miscalculation. You know, I just need you to find me 11,780 votes, which is one more than we need. Because I need to win your state. Because I did win. I just need your proof to back up my statement that I won. Because I won by a landslide. You know I did. I mean, the numbers aren't there. But you know I won. Treason can be a fine of some money and or 5 years in prison. Sedition is, I believe, 20 years. Advocating the overthrow of the government. Which is what he has been pushing. Whoever knowingly or willfully advocates, abets, advises, or teaches the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying the government of the United States, or the government of any state, territory, district, or possession thereof, or the government of any political subdivision therein, by force or by violence, or by the assassination of an officer of any such government, or whoever with intent caused the overthrow or destruction of any such government, prints, publishes, edits, issues, circulates, sells, distributes, or publicly displays any written or printed matter advocating, advising, or teaching the duty, necessity, desirability, or propriety of overthrowing or destroying any government in the United States by force or by violence, or attempt to do so, or whoever organizes or helps or attempts to organize any society, group, or assembly of persons who teach, advocate, encourage the overthrow or destruction of any such government by force or violence, or becomes or is a member of or affiliate with or any such society, group, or assembly of persons, knowing the purposes thereof, shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 20 years or both, and shall be ineligible for employment by the United States or any department or agency thereof for the 5 years next following his conviction after he gets out. And he would never get out in order to run again. Because he would be over 100 years old by then. But his advocacy of the Proud Boys is there's good on both sides. His stand down and stand by that all falls in that category. Trump could literally be tried for at least 4 charges against the 18 U.S. Code Chapter 115. And if found guilty, face a maximum term of 55 years in prison. So, that's where I am right now. I'm angry. I'm upset. He has pushed the belief that he's been done wrong. Two morons who choose to believe the most ridiculous things possible is becoming reality. Instead of what's actually proven as fact. Our courts have turned Trump down. I think it's something like 60 of 61 times. Proving that he has zero case. That the election was not fraudulent. That he has zero evidence of fraud. Zero evidence of it being stolen. Zero evidence at all to prove everything that he believes is actually true. Zero evidence. None of the courts, including the judges that he put on the bench, believe him because he has no actual proof. And if you listen to the phone call that he was recorded on trying to quid pro quo the Georgia governor into overturning his election results, he even says, it's what I believe in my mind that this happened. What you believe in your mind is not a fact. It is not something that is real, that is true, that can be worked on, that can be created to become something true. No. Even though I won by a landslide, but we can't find the votes. Then you didn't win by a landslide, baby. You lost. And before the Capitol was raided, one of the senators, I think it was Hawley. One of them said that the Electoral College needs to be abolished. I actually agree with him. A lot of Americans agree with him on that. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of talking. But let's say we had abolished the Electoral College in 2014. So that the first presidential election without an Electoral College had been 2016. Trump would have lost. Because then we're going by popular vote. And Trump lost that by 3 million votes. 3 million more Americans said no to Trump in 2016 than said yes. But, okay. Let's say we didn't get rid of the Electoral College then. Let's say we decided to get rid of the Electoral College in 2018, which would be 2 years before this latest election. Okay. That again would mean that Trump did not win. Again. Because Biden had 8 million more votes than Trump did. See, Trump not only lost the Electoral College this time, he also lost the population, the people's vote this time. The popular vote. He did not win. And, okay. Yes. There were more votes for him as a sitting president than any other president ever elected. I'll give him that. But Biden got more votes. It doesn't matter that the man in office got more votes than any other president before him as a sitting president. Biden got more votes. He won in a landslide. And Trump refuses to believe it. And Trump is encouraging his followers, his cult, to believe that the election was stolen. Even when he spoke on that Twitter announcement to go home, don't commit any more violence, we love you all. He still said that the election was stolen from them. That the other side is evil. But before I go, one other thing. It doesn't end with Donald Trump. You see, yesterday, Eric Trump made an announcement where he threatened the Republican members of Congress, both the House and the Senate, that if they didn't do everything they could do to overturn this election, to keep their father in office, that the mega party will remember it when they have to be primaried. But that's not the end of it, see. Because you see, Ivanka Trump, who apparently may be running for Senate for the Florida seat in 2 years, just had to post a tweet calling out American patriots. Any security breach or disrespect to our law enforcement is unacceptable. The violence must stop immediately. Please be peaceful. And then she deleted that tweet shortly afterwards. And there's a reason she deleted that tweet. Because these treasonous, terroristic maggots that decided to invade the Capitol and cause a riot are not American patriots. They are the exact opposite. But the fact that she still considers them patriots, and you know if she does, so does everyone else in Trump world. Just goes to prove the point that they, that's who they are. That's who they are. That's who they continue to be. That's who they always will be. That's who they are. When they tell you who they are, you need to listen. So, I'm going to end this now. I don't even know if YouTube's going to block this or not. They probably will. I probably violated a whole bunch of copyright things. But this is not who we are. Trump has encouraged the growth of hatred, bigotry, racism, fascism, anarchy, terrorism, and the GOP has allowed it. Every single step along the way, they have backed him and supported him and helped him and coddled him. And this is where we are now. This is where they're trying to destroy America. The party that believes in small government has lost. Has lost everything at this point. What I do hope is that at this point, we can learn from this. We can grow from this. And we can never, ever let this happen again.